If it was easy, where would the growth come from? If it was easy, how could you ever rise above mediocrity to become something extraordinary, something unstoppable?
Hey, what's up? This is Antonio. Welcome back to my channel. Now, who's ready for some fighting words? In this video, we are going to talk about Naoya Inoue versus Ramon Cardenas. This will be a spotlight video where I'm going to focus solely on Naoya Inoue and all of his strengths and attributes versus Ramon Cardenas. Really quick, if you like the videos, please take the time right now. Subscribe to the channel. It literally takes one click. And also, if you could, hit the thumbs up button. It does help. It shows love and it supports this channel. So we're going to start this thing off with who is Naoya Inoue? As if you didn't know. He's the monster himself. We're talking about a two-time undisputed world champion. Okay, he's moved up in weight, knocking people off in other weight classes that are not his own. Foreign territory. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about a guy who has speed. We're talking about a guy who has power. We're talking about a guy who has agility. We're talking about a guy who is a ring technician and a wizard in the ring. We're talking about Naoya Inoue. That's who we're talking about. I guess the question is, who's come close to beating him, or who's has the attributes, who possesses the attributes needed to beat him? And, you look at Ramon Cardenas, I think, he might be on something. We're talking about a guy with 26 wins, 14 KOs, and 1 loss. So the first thing I would notice about Ramon Cardenas is the fact that he has a loss. And that's the thing that I'm going to pick at in this video. Why? Because I think it's important. When you say you're going to challenge the king, and make no mistake about it, Naoya Inoue is the king. Undisputed. There's nothing, a loss on his record. And it wasn't a KO loss. So it tells me something about that individual. It tells me maybe, there's a gear that you just can't hit. Maybe there's a stride you can't hit. Maybe there's a level that you can't attain. Or maybe you can't attain it for very long. Well, you're now in the big leagues. You're fighting the best of the best of the best. Okay? Pound for pound, the best of the best of the best. Naoya Inoue has earned that. And you got to ask yourself, what are you going to bring to the table with this man? Naoya Inoue is a great combination puncher. Now, Naoya Inoue is a great finisher. Naoya Inoue is a great thinker. If you put Naoya Inoue down, he's going to get back up. We know that he's a durable guy. He's been down. He was down with Neri. And then Neri paid the price, the ultimate price. He got the crap beat out of him for the rest of that fight. Until he was finished. So you got to ask yourself, what are you going to bring to the table to this man? At this point in time, I would even go as far to say that Naoya Inoue is an unstoppable force, because nobody's been able to solve this puzzle. Nobody's been able to slow this tidal wave down. So you gotta call it what it is. I think we're dealing with an extraordinary fighter. You don't see fighters like him every day. You might see one every 20 years, every 25 years. But you don't see a Naoya Inoue every day. And you got to be honest. Like, there's just certain people, you don't see them every day. You're not going to see a Floyd Mayweather every day. You're not going to see a Roy Jones Jr. every day. You're not going to see a Muhammad Ali or Sugar Ray Leonard every day. You just don't see these guys every single day. And when you're looking at Naoya Inoue, he is no different. You don't see a guy who possesses all the skills that he has, the footwork that he has, the ring generalship that he has, the speed that he has, the power that he has, the intelligence that he possesses in the ring. You don't see that every day. And you have to give the man his credit and make sure that it's due. You don't see that every day. Not to mention he's undefeated. You don't see that every day. Not to mention he's going up in weight. You don't see that every day. What does Ramon Cardenas bring to the table for this guy? I don't know. I think at this stage, I think, and this is an attribute. I know how it sounds, but it's an attribute, especially, in terms of fighters. You do have to possess a certain level of crazy. You do. You have to possess a certain level of crazy. And then you got to ask yourself, how much of this crazy can I tap into? Because I don't see Ramon Cardenas outboxing Naoya Inoue. I don't see Roman Cardenas out punching Naoya Inoue because he doesn't throw that many punches, and Naoya Inoue does throw punches. He throws more. I'm not going to say he's some punching machine, but Naoya Inoue does throw more punches, and he is a combination puncher. So when you factor certain things in, all right, well, maybe I can match him here. No, he has better footwork than you. You can't match him there. I think, and this is just my own personal opinion, but if I were to train somebody for Naoya Inoue, I would honestly go out there and embrace the pain. Go out there, run headfirst into the fire, because that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to walk through pain so that you could give a little pain. And that's just as simple as it is. And I know it seems like I'm saying Roman Cardenas doesn't have a chance. Anybody who has two of these has a chance. Anybody who trains has a chance. But there are levels. And we have to be honest. And I'm certainly going to be honest. There are levels. And fearlessness alone is not going to cut it. Fearlessness with proper training, proper game plan. And that's another thing about Naoya Inoue. He's a game plan guy. He's not I'll just figure it out when I get in there. He's not that type of guy. He has a plan. He implements the plan. He sticks to the plan. And I could be wrong, but I believe he's the type of guy who has plan B. All right, this isn't working. All right, so I'm gonna try one more thing next coming round. If this doesn't pan out, then round 6 through 12, I'm gonna do plan B. He strikes me as that type of guy. He strikes me as a contingency plan type of guy. And I don't know. I think Roman Cardenas has his hands full, but listen, everything is on the table for this guy. He's got to go for this fight. And who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? Listen, you get into the sport for a few reasons. You get into the sport for the glory. You get into the sport for the belts. You get into the sport for the fame. You get into the sport for the money. You get into the sport to change your life. You get into the sport to change your family's life. So I get it. There's a lot of reasons for Roman Cardenas to get in the ring with Naoya Inoue. There's a lot of reasons. There's a lot of reasons. There's no negatives of him getting in the ring with Naoya Inoue. But in all fairness to him, he does hit pretty hard. In all fairness to him, he's a game opponent. In all fairness to him, he seems pretty durable. Well, the problem is all those things also describe Naoya Inoue. So when it comes down to who's used to championship level fighting, who's used to championship round fighting, who's used to rising to the occasion again and again and again, who's used to going up in competition, going up in size, investing the best, I got to give it to Naoya Inoue. I got to give it to Naoya Inoue. He hasn't proven me wrong. There's no one who could suggest that I'm wrong in that suggestion. No great fight. I think Roman Cardenas is a game opponent. I really do. I don't see it going the full distance, but I think he's a game opponent. And I think there will be many spots and moments in the fight where he will make Naoya Inoue think. I think he'll make Naoya Inoue think twice. And I think he will make Naoya Inoue rise to the occasion, as he always does. And I think it's going to lead to a pretty spectacular fight. And I think the true winners of this fight are you and myself as the fans. Drop your thoughts down below.